Good evening, my loves. Welcome to tonight's late night coaching gem. I am your host, Deanna, the love guide. If you are new, welcome to Destination Deanna. I want you to consider this your self help learning library for all things love. So every Monday, we get together and we have a live discussion about a particular topic. I teach the lesson, then we have time for Q&A. So, thank you so much for being here. Remember to support the YouTube channel. It's free. So leave a comment, and make sure that you're sharing the YouTube link with your friends. Okay? And let's see who is already checking in. My husband. Hi, honey. Thank you so much for your support. You know, I love seeing your name come across the screen. And tonight's topic, top tips for newlyweds. And if you read the description of the video, I specifically said, yes, this is coming from a newlywed perspective. My husband and I are nearing the latter part of our initial newlywed year. And I'm taking information from other clients and what they've shared about their newlywed year. But honestly, the things that we're talking about, they are helpful in regards to building any type of long-term relationship. So even if you're not, a newlywed now, or if you're engaged, or you are desiring marriage for the future, this video, this live is for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, right? So we're going to talk about top tips for newlyweds. I always start the live off by saying what my intention is, so you're very clear about what this lesson is for and what is my intention with what I'm teaching you. So my intention is to provide some tips based on my personal experience and the experience of my clients, friends, and family members close to me, to ensure that newlyweds and anyone who desires marriage or a long-term relationship are equipped to have a thriving partnership long-term. Okay, so this is how you set up your marriage for success, basically. And I always share what I'm not doing, so you can not even waste your time in the comments about things that I've already said I'm not addressing or isn't my goal or intention with the talk. So what I'm not doing, I'm not saying that this is an end all be all list, right? There may be other things that you see as equally or even more important than what I'm mentioning here. Feel free to create your own list. Okay? Thanks. So let's jump right in, because I'm going to be covering 12 tips. So the top 12 tips for having a successful newlywed year. Okay. Number 1, always keep the honey in the moon. And this literally is my husband and I's theme. It's our theme. It's also the name of our podcast that will be coming out soon. So stay tuned for that. But always keep the honey in the moon. And basically what that means is you should always aim to lead with love and tenderness, right? So that means staying away from harsh words, staying away from unnecessary bickering, fighting. You want to always aim to have an environment of love and softness and sweetness with one another. Number 2, let's continue this on. It's you two versus the problem, not each other. Now, with the healthiest of relationships, there is going to be things that come up, disagreements. Somebody might make a mistake. It is inevitable that if you're spending a lifetime with someone, there's going to be those times where it's less than desirable. It's so important to always remember that you are a team. You are partners. And in order for you to be successful, everybody has to be happy. It's not like I win, he loses. No, it's we both win. So our goal should always be to attack the problem, figure out a solution, not go against each other. So remember your partners, okay? Number 3, prioritize your marriage over every other relationship except God. God should be the center. Your spirituality should be important to you, and nothing should come before that, because that is your relationship with the Creator. That's you and the Creator, however you want to title that. For me, it's God. I'm a believer in Christ. But however you see fit for your higher power, your God, nothing should come above that. But your relationship is right underneath it. And yes, I mean, even above your kids. That's not to say you neglect your kids. That's not to say you don't, prioritize them. It's just you don't prioritize the kids and sacrifice your marriage. Because guess what? When everything is said and done, when your kids are grown and have their own lives, you have your partner. And if you spent a lifetime putting your kids, your work, other things before them, when it comes time to retire and it's just you two, you'll have nothing. You won't like each other. You'll be begrudgingly together, or you'll be like those couples that 30, 40 years and they're divorcing. We don't want that for you. So just start off with prioritizing your marriage, right? And number 4, maintain a healthy self-love regimen. Now, I am a big proponent for self-care, self-love. Although you are a part of a partnership and you do have to love on your partner, take care of them, do all of those things, support them, it is of the utmost importance that you do not lose your individuality, meaning you don't abandon taking care of yourself, whether that is reading, whether that is, your prayer, your meditation, whether that is your spa treatments, whatever it is that makes you feel loved without an outside source, without your partner. You got to maintain that. And bonus, encourage your partner to do the same. Like if you are only getting your love banks filled by each other, that's exhausting, right? That is exhausting. You should be filling your love bank yourself. You should have other loving relationships in your life that can fill you in a way. Not anything inappropriate, obviously, and not competing with your spouse, but they shouldn't be responsible for all of the love that you receive in life. So maintain a healthy self-love regimen and encourage them to also. Number 5, be intentional about building your foundation, especially in the first year. And when I was growing up, my mom always told me that when you get married for your first year, you all should really limit your time that you spend with other couples, limit being around other people, limit being away from your home. You should really spend a lot of time together, a lot of time as a couple, talking, figuring things out, loving on each other, literally building the foundation for a lifetime. So be intentional about that year. How you start is a great predictor of how things are going to go, right? My husband and I, we decided our newlywed year is probably going to happen. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 years, just because he travels for work a lot. So we haven't had the dedicated time to be with each other, 24/7 for months at a time. So we are probably going to have an elongated period of newlywed. But we made a promise that we were going to limit vacationing with others. We were going to limit trips with others, limit going to dinners and different activities with others. We sure weren't going to go to single things or things that weren't couple oriented or things that would edify our marriage. And we told the closest people in our lives before we actually had our wedding. We told them all, hey, after the wedding, for a solid year, we're locking in. We're not coming to that event. We're not doing that. So don't be offended when we tell you we can't come. We're letting you know now. We are spending this time with us as a couple and our children to like merge as a family and create our foundation. And it has been awesome. It has been awesome. Like we have literally bonded and gotten to know each other even better and really started to lay the bricks for a very healthy foundation. So that's what I recommend. Be very intentional about building that foundation in the beginning. Number 6, and this is from my husband. He gave me a couple on the list too. Enjoy life together on purpose. Notice we always say on purpose or intentionally. It's always like your choice, your decision. It's not by happenstance. You got to be purposeful about this. So you need to make time for each other. Don't allow other things like your kids, your responsibilities, work, other things to steer you away from each other like a lot. Understandably, things will happen and you will have to adjust, but you want to manage this. You want to keep the main thing, and that is your marriage. That is what you are building. Everything else will flow from what you're building together. So you want that to be healthy. You want it to be strong. You want to invest in it because there's gonna come a time when you're gonna have to withdraw from that bank and you want it to be full so you're not depleted when you do, right? So number 7, also from my husband, make spiritual worship together a priority. So your spiritual life will give you the best foundation for intimacy, for wealth, for healthy conflict resolution. Your spiritual life really will make the difference in whether you are letting small things fester, whether you are holding grudges and not forgiving, whether you are not like loving from a deep loving place, not that surface level stuff. Like this is a different level when you are married. So it's important for you to, attend church. If that's what you do, attend it together. If you watch sermons online, watch it together. Or if you're not physically together, you can watch and then share the information with each other and talk about it. You can read spiritual books together. You can do a plethora of things. You can go to different events that have a spiritual background, right? But do it together. Make that a priority. Number 8, so important. Practice healthy conflict resolution at all times. This is not like a hit or miss thing. You have to have the mindset that you do not want to be raising voices, name calling, going to bed angry, staying angry for long amounts of time, not paying attention to each other's triggers, not using helpful language. You want to be super intentional about this because guess what? We throw out a lot of facts about divorce and different things like that. But I will tell you the one thing that successful, happy marriages, not people that just stay together long term and they just don't break up, but it's unhealthy. I'm talking about long-term marriages where the two are happy. You see them happily talking about their spouse and talking positively about marriage. The one thing all of those couples have in common is healthy conflict resolution. It's not that they don't have disagreements. It's not that either of them never did anything that the other was upset about or they had to be forgiven for. It's not that. But what makes the difference is when couples can get through things, when they can have disagreements in a healthy way. So this is of the utmost importance. You want to practice healthy conflict resolution. You don't want to let things linger. You don't want to have them go unaddressed. And big thing here, because I know there's a lot of rhetoric around, don't let nobody in your marriage. Don't talk to anybody about your marriage. Yes, but let me put an asterisk there. No, you shouldn't air your dirty laundry out on Facebook. No, you shouldn't uncover your partner publicly in front of people. But you definitely should have a core group of people that you trust who stand for your marriage, not the two of you individually. Now, they can love either of you individually and hopefully both of you, but they need to be a, a supporter of your marriage. It needs to be agreed that any advice they give, anything they say will be for the benefit of the marriage. And you all should have a trusted group of people that you can do that, because it gets difficult. You might have something that you're not prepared for. You may need to talk it out with someone so that you don't disrespect your spouse. But it needs to be someone that you both have agreed upon and you both trust. Okay? Bonus, they should be married. They should be married. The only way that they shouldn't be married is if they're a professional. And honestly, my personal opinion about that is they should be married. I agree. Okay. I like that. Those small things add up. They absolutely do. Number 9. Sex, and more sex. Listen, we need to dispel this like negative kind of connotation that's going around about marital sex. Like, oh, once you get married, the sex stops. Like, everyone is kind of looking down on marriage for that reason. No. In your newlywed year, and I mean really for your whole marriage, but since we're talking about the newlywed year and setting the stage, sex needs to be high on the priority list. I mean, you need to be having a lot of it. You need to be talking about it often, like sharing your experience, sharing what you like, sharing what you don't really care for, sharing what you would like to experience or maybe try. The marital bed is undefiled. So, what a husband and wife choose to do with each other is between them. But I'm going to tell you, you want to start hot, right? Because go ahead and add kids, add careers, add businesses, add all of these distractions and other responsibilities after the fact. You know, your priorities start changing, things start slipping down. So it's very important in the beginning, start with a very healthy sex life. And that doesn't just mean having a lot of sex. That is part of it. But it should be having great sex, meaning you are communicating, meaning, you know, fellas, husbands, you are doing the things that get your wife ready, that gets her excited about having lots of sex with you. Ladies, you are learning what your husband likes, and you're doing it often, right? And you guys are having these open dialogues. Hey, are we having sex enough? Hey, did you like what I did last night? You want to do that again? Hey, what about trying blah, blah, blah? Hey, let's do some spontaneous whatever. So next week, let's just, wherever we say, that's where we do. Like, you want to be hot in this area. And listen, if my husband wasn't going to say nothing tonight, he was going to be front and center for number 9. Great is great. Yes, it is. So, number 10, create traditions together, right? That could be from the smallest thing, like how do you celebrate birthdays? Do you guys do Taco Tuesday every night? How do you celebrate when the kids have a milestone? How do you celebrate holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving? What are you guys doing? Do you have regular date nights? Do you exchange random gifts once a month? I don't know. Whatever you would like. Create traditions together. It is a bonding experience. It gives you things to look forward to. And I'm telling you, these are the things that build this awesome foundation for when things get rocky, because they will eventually. At some point, you're going to have some bumps along the way. But if you've done all of these things, if you have traditions, like you have things to fall on, you have things to still have to talk about because they're already an established tradition. And I see I got a comment. Hold on. I've had enough of y'all frisky. Well, you know what we're doing. It's our newlywed year. I practice what I preach. And number 11, frequently show and tell love, right? So this is not the type of thing like, well, I married you, so you know I love you. No, you need to be telling your spouse every day that you love them, reaffirm your choice, do things that will inspire them to feel priority, feel beautiful, handsome, appreciated, all of those things. And you want to show it. So you want to say it, but you also want to show it. Random acts of kindness, showing up in their love language, all of those things. And 12. This is from my husband. I'm glad he added this. It's important. Spend time apart. Spend time apart. Like, yes, I've talked about all this togetherness, all of this bonding, all of this stuff that you guys should be doing together. But you should also be spending time apart, right? Being together is important, but it's also critical to like carve out your own time for your own hobbies, your own friends, even if it's just your own naps, your own quiet time to think, your own time to walk around the house naked, not judged, right? Whatever it is, having a little like time apart will contribute to your own personal growth and independence, which will help keep the relationship thriving and happy. Great information for me to use for my future. Absolutely. That's why I was saying it is for newlyweds, but it literally is, anyone can take this information and kind of put it in their mental Rolodex for their future. It will be better the second time around. Yes, it will, Kalandra. Knowledge and wisdom is priceless. Yeah, this is the second time around for Will and I, and we are taking everything that we learned and doing things differently, and we are getting different results, right? I wondered if that was on the list. Absolutely, it had to be. It absolutely had to be. And that's number 12. Like, it's important. Like it goes, I don't want to say it goes without saying, because usually it isn't said at all and people are not thinking about it. So that is why I definitely wanted to bring that up. And I'm glad my husband reminded me, because it's something that we implement. We have a schedule, right, throughout the week. We have certain discussions on certain days. We read on certain days. We do Bible study on certain days. We date on certain days. And that is how we're able to get it done, because we have a regimen. But we also have built in one day a week where we have time to ourselves. I mean, we still communicate with each other. We still make sure that, we're checking in and things like that. But that is our solo time to do whatever we want to do. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't give you a bonus. So we went over 12, but bonus, the last bonus tip, start your legacy building now, right? Don't wait until it's 5 years into the marriage. Don't wait until after you have kids if you haven't had them already. You want to discuss your desires for the future and how you plan to get there as early as possible, because again, it gives you something to focus on. It gives you something to work towards. It's harder to grow apart when you're consistently working together towards things, when you're consistently celebrating things together, when you're consistently building things together. So that's the bonus tip. Those were the top tips for newlyweds, or anyone that aspires to be. But now let's open it up for Q&A. Did you have any questions about the list? Did you have anything you wanted to add, you wanted to share that wasn't included? Again, it's not an all-inclusive list, but it was the most important ones that I thought of, and my husband also kind of added some zhuzh. So are there any questions? Y'all been kind of quiet tonight. I usually take that for like, oh, I must be killing it. Like they ain't saying nothing. They don't got no questions. I must have been very clear about this. They don't have no questions, no comments, no nothing. Well, all right. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I'll put up the coaching gem on the screen. Use this list as inspiration to create your own, right? Be proactive and intentional your newlywed year so your marriage has the best start and foundation for a long-lasting, happy marriage. So that was my intention. That's the coaching gem. I see some comments. Oh, hey, Carla. I ain't seen you in a minute. Happy to have you back. You were clear. Thank you. Could you please repeat 11? Absolutely. 11 was frequently show and tell. That means frequently tell your spouse that you love them daily. You know, you value them, you appreciate them, but also look for ways to show them. And this is like filling their love bank. It's putting those deposits in there so when difficult things do occur, they have positivity to lean on. I'm hoping to use these when I move south. Absolutely. Obviously, I know. Y'all, listen, what can I say? I'm a mom first. I'm in Dallas. I know a lot of you are on the East Coast, so you're already like an hour ahead of me. I do it as early as I can. Listen, I can hear my kids in there now talking, not sleeping like they're supposed to be. But they ain't been too loud, so I ain't gonna say much. But that is why I do it late. I am trying to consider if I'll add some sort of like mini live, like a lunchtime, but I'm not able to commit to it. And I don't like to do things that I can't commit to keep doing. That's like a part of my lifestyle now. Like I don't go super hard in the gym because I know I'm not going to keep doing that every day for the rest of my life. I do what I can maintain. I do what I can do daily because that's how you sustain results. So I'm considering. I'm trying to work out if I can do something during the day. I know a lot of you have told me it's late, you be in bed, you be trying to stay up for it. So I appreciate you all when you do stay up and you're here to talk. You're welcome, Kalandra. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you're feeling better. You are amazing. I need more energy. Thank you so much. I work at it. Trust me. I be napping during the day. Kalandra, do you believe love languages evolve or do y'all try to express as many of them as y'all can? I make this joke all the time, but it's really not a joke. I always say like my love language is whatever I'm not getting at the time. So if you bought me a gift, it ain't the gift, it's something else. If you gave me attention, maybe I need a gift. Like, so I have already warned my husband, hey, just go down the list. Check off what you've done. Whatever is left, that's what I need. But I know that in general, when you take the love languages quiz, they always say, yeah, I'm silly. They always say that people have a primary, and maybe one that is like their secondary. I do believe that for the most part, that is the truth. Like the thing that most means the most to you, there will be like one or two of them. And I do believe that they change. I know they said they don't, but when I became a mother, quality time and acts of service were everything to me. And they were not my love languages before. But where I was in my life at the time, it was like, yo, help me. Help me. That shows love when you help me. But at this point in my life, well, no, acts of service are still kind of high up there. But now I like gifts a lot. That wasn't always the case. Quality time, because I like experiences. So I do think it can change based on where you are in life, what you have on your plate, what might be stressing you more, what area of your life you're not getting support in. So I do believe that they can shift. They can change based on how your life is. That's a good question, Kalandra. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking that. Anybody else have any questions? This is like the only time you can ask me questions and get answers for free. So there you go. So I love you guys so much. If you are not already a part of the Love Attraction community, it is our private Facebook group. You need to join. It's free. We discuss more in there. So like after I end the live, that's where I like comment. We continue the conversation. I post more tips there, different videos. We have discussions. You are in an environment to attract love, right? It is the closest you can get to me for free. So you should join. Meet lots of great people. Have positive like love expelled into your life. It's awesome. So join us on Facebook for that. And remember, every Monday we are live here, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I encourage you to subscribe on the YouTube channel if you haven't already. But yeah, so that's it. I see some comments. Don't want to leave. Got it. Thanks. You're welcome. So please remember that God is love. We are of God. So attracting love should be easy, especially when you have me as your guide. I love you all, and I will see you next week.